All right. So Mario Villacis with us here on Keeping It Real with Alexander Garrett. Met you at Level Up Networking. We're going to have Steve Robeo on in the near future because he's got another event coming up in Brooklyn. But we're going to stay right in Brooklyn right now because I've got Mario, founder of Absurd Conclave. And why I brought you on is you have a big show coming up this Thursday night. And I loved your spirit when we first talked. And I really wanted to have you on to promote the event, promote Absurd Conclave. So have at it.
Yes. So talking about the event, it was really good meeting you at Level Up event. But yes, May 9th, this Thursday, we're actually having, I curated a show of 4 artists locally from Brooklyn and one from New Jersey, all inspiring artists trying to, make a name for themselves. And they created a mural in front of our building front. And if the show starts at 6 o'clock at May 9th. It's called Mural Extravaganza.
And so tell us about Absurd Conclave. Where can people go to see this extravaganza? And how many people did the mural take to make? Like, how many people made it?
Oh, so, good thing. I scheduled it, even though the weather had been horrible lately, but I managed to get a good day. Everyone came by. We kind of did it as a group. And I had a videographer to come by, take a picture, take videos and a picture of the whole thing. I would say, 2 of the artists managed to finish in one day. And the other 2 artists, Katie Wool and as well as Catherine Warts, it kind of took them a couple of days because I guess an artist always has to put layers on. So, for them it took time. But either way, it came out nice. And now with the sun is out and you can really, kind of grasp the color and the texture and everything they did.
And, the art community is vibrant in New York. I think people should know more about that because not everybody's on Instagram, not everybody's on Twitter or Facebook, but the art in New York is very vibrant. And I feel, Mario, you're contributing to that vibrancy by hosting these events at Absurd Conclave.
Yes. I'll be very truthfully, I was not really into the art, into the art vibe and the art community. Ever since I started this business with Absurd Conclave, I realized there was a needed platform for artists out there locally that are, starting and artists that are, already established, but they still come into locations like mine, and they set up these events where everybody comes in as a creatives in a community environment, and they inspire each other as well as they feel like there's support on each other. And the crazy part is where I'm located is actually it's like a boiling pot of all these art projects and murals that are happening at Bushwick.
Talk about that a little bit. So you say a lot of them. So how many would you say have popped up in your area specifically?
Well, actually, I would say in the vicinity of, about half a mile all around where Absurd Conclave is, I would say there's maybe 50 different murals all around, and certain blocks in Star Avenue, murals all around as well. And they're all artists locally, international, and a lot of them have, some of them are power hitter artists, like they're well-known, the artists. The artwork can go for thousands of dollars, and then there's others that are upcoming, trying to make a name for themselves, trying to break into the mainstream out there.
Trying to be like Banksy, right? I mean, how big a name can you get other than Banksy? It's amazing what he's done specifically. But your story is interesting, and I remember now they told me that you were not originally in the art community. So tell us about your background and why you ended up getting into this community, and where you left, what you left to be part of it.
I would, honestly, a lot of people would say I was more into real estate and trying to build businesses and things like that. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and I was telling them that, I'm not, before I wasn't into art, and I don't know how I just kind of picked up into it, and I fell in love with it. And they kind of explained to me, like, believe it or not, if you're creating something from nothing, that is art. Whether you're using your pen, a talent, or something, that is considered art. And so they were just like, you know what, in a way, Mara, you're an artist yourself. You've created something from nothing. And I was like, all right, you know what? I think that's kind of hinting why I also have a drive for all these artists, whether they're coming up, and I'm like, all right, I know the struggle that you guys are going through, the heart that you put into your passion into the drawing, and I admire it, and I admire it, and as well as, you know what, the same token, I also want to give them that chance as well. If I can do anything, which is I give them my space. I'm like, hey, do a show. Let's help everyone out here, and that's as for me. I eventually found out the type of art I like, which is actually street pop art, and that would be kind of like where I'm at right now. That's my favorite art.
And street art, there's nothing like it. I mean, obviously graffiti was there, but now there's sort of a normalized kind of art in addition to graffiti, and we see it all over the place. I mean, almost every block it feels like you can see some form of art, and obviously it's one of the best forms of expression for the city, is it not?
Yes, it definitely does. It even helps with, I would say, the tourism. I realize a lot of people come in Brooklyn, and they're coming out with their cameras, taking pictures, and they just go strictly for, the art side of it. And it kind of, how do I say, give a diversity to us, that we're not only high risers and, the nice building and architectural, but we also have an art side. And that's what the good thing about Bushwick is offering.
And you mentioned your space is good for kids as well. Tell us about how it is a space for all ages and how you accommodate both kids, maybe even teenagers and young adults, and then, of course, established artists as well.
Yes. Actually, we had the privilege to work with a group called LEAP, and they are a community-based program that provide a location where kids and students can come in and work in creative, so that way they try to keep them out the street, and it's like a platform for them, so that way they can work and be creative in their artwork or building things, and I think it's something very constructive for them. So that's something that we also, that we work with the LEAP. I have to give them credit. We work with them, and they managed to do that for our location.
And so how often do you partner with them for events, and how can they get in touch with Elite as well as your brand?
Well, we done already 2 events in the past 3 months. We're hoping to maybe get them in again for the summertime, because definitely summertime is when there is no more school, and that's when these programs become more active.
And by the way, I want to mention you guys are off of Jefferson Street on the L line. So you said off the air, public transportation is a huge form of people to get there, which is great. I mean, sometimes places are inaccessible, but you guys seem right there in the heart of Bushwick. I do want to ask you, though, because there's been a lot of talk about the L train and, 20 minutes at night and all that. Has that affected you guys at all at Absurd Conclave?
Actually, what would really affect us if they did shut it down. Because at one point they were going to say they were going to shut it down indefinitely for 1.5 years, and I would have to say I was a little heartbroken there. But I guess through community boards and meetings and all that, they just managed to regulate the time frame a little bit different, and it affects it mostly after 9 p.m., the evening hours is where the trains will start going slower, and the weekend. Overall, it affected us a little bit? Yeah, I would say it affected us a little bit, but not to a point where it's going to be a major concern.
Do you feel like at Absurd Conclave, Mario, and we're talking about Mario, who owns Absurd Conclave with his family, with his sister, but do you feel as a leader in this community that you can be a leader in advocating for them outside of just art, but the community as well? That's just something that, Alex, I've been trying my best to try to get a foot out there and, try to associate myself with other people out there that's trying to make an impact into the community. I think the one space I can do, I always, I try to work out best with, programs with like LEAP, other curators that come in to do a platform for kids, fashion show, all these other artists that are trying to make a name for themselves, as well as local artists that are doing these shows. And I do my best, and I try to be fair. At the same token, I have to keep in mind that
that I also have to protect myself. But I would say little by little, hopefully I get to a point where I can definitely help everyone.
And I'm sure these events like the mural extravaganza, what's happening this Thursday night at Absurd Conclave, and give us the website, give us how to get, how we can go, give us, just a way to get into that event on Thursday night.
Yeah, so we're on Facebook, absurdconclave.bk, and our Instagram, we're there as well, absurdconclave.bk. You can just Google us. We have an Eventbrite page running up. We're actually having a giveaway T-shirts of a couple of the artists that whoever RSVP in our Eventbrite. That's pretty much it. And we're open almost every day. So if you're around the neighborhood, you can definitely stop by and take a look at the space. We also, we sometimes have some art pieces up, and you can take a look at those as well.
All right, Mario, thank you so much for your time today, and I can't wait to see you on Thursday night. Can't wait to continue this friendship and tap into the community that is New York's artists. We need more of those voices heard, and I hope you agree with me on that one, because I think everybody could see that.
Thank you, Alex, for your time. Thank you again.
Thank you. All right, I'm Alexander Garrett. That's it for this edition of Keeping It Real with Alexander Garrett. We'll talk to you next time.